President Biden is requiring tens of millions more Americans to get vaccinated.
We've been patient, but our patience is wearing thin.
We, the American Center for Law and Justice, is representing the Heritage Foundation in a lawsuit, a legal challenge against the Biden administration, specifically the Labor Department and OSHA.
Well, I'm in favor of the vaccine, and I think it should be available and used by people. It's different when it comes to the federal government mandating something.
I think the president was wrong with his mandate. I think it was a monumental overreach, and I think it's actually hardened people against the vaccine, and the president has divided the country because of the mandate.
We are fighting back. We are strongly in favor of individual liberty, the rule of law, and the Constitution.
The question before all members of Congress, but particularly Republicans, who run every year on limited government and on freedom, are they going to stand up and say that not one single dollar should be used to fund government that is telling people that they must get a vaccine, a mandatory vaccine, or they're going to lose their job?
The Occupational Safety and Health Administration has a set agenda and a set jurisdiction. And what you have happening here is they're going outside of their jurisdiction.
There's a whole host of problems with this being done. It's why states do these things, localities do these things, not the federal government.
Congress needs to man up, stand up, and fight for the American people. And that means don't fund a government that is tyrannically forcing people to get a vaccine that they don't want to get. The courts are doing the work for us right now. 3 times courts have shut down these unconstitutional, unlawful mandates. But Congress needs to step up now and get in the game.
It's a question of federal authority, and to have the Heritage Foundation as your client is an honor for the American Center for Law and Justice.
This is a historic moment for the ACLJ to be representing the Heritage Foundation in this challenge against the Biden administration.
The justices heard arguments yesterday over a Mississippi law that bans abortion after 15 weeks of pregnancy. This is the most significant challenge to Roe v. Wade in decades.
Justice Breyer took a shot at the new justices of the Supreme Court, saying, well, just because we have new justices, it's like they don't get a new opinion. But they do. That's why this case is there.
It's unclear whether the court will go the whole way and overturn Roe completely. But even if it doesn't, doing away with the rule that says states cannot ban abortion before viability could embolden as many as half the states to pursue local laws that would make abortion illegal. Some already have bans on the books that would go into effect the moment the court's abortion precedents were overturned.
At the end of the day, I think what Justice Alito said, we're talking about fetal life here. And the Solicitor General of Mississippi said this is the only time where another life is at stake in a procedure.
The argument is for the pro-choice side on this. They can't ground it in the Constitution. They can't ground it in good science. They can't ground it in good philosophy. At one point, she asserted that it's only religion that could lead someone to be pro-life. If that's true, that's a really bad sign for secularism.
They want to keep Roe v. Wade. That's what the public demands. And if the court rules otherwise, who cares if it's based on the Constitution or not? We just need to do what we think is the most popular decision right now. And we're going to, like you said, kind of dog or demean anyone who's saying we're going to actually rely on the Constitution.
The court should really look at the Constitution and the law and to say, is there anything in the Constitution that guarantees abortion? No, there's not. Is there anything in our law that talks about viability? No, there's not.
So when can we protect a baby's life, or when can we ban abortion? And if they say viability is no longer that point, then I think it really does come down to, well, the states need to determine when they are going to protect a baby's life.
The Biden administration is reinstating the Trump-era Remain in Mexico policy. This comes after the Supreme Court found the administration's suspension of the program violated federal law.
He actually canceled the Remain in Mexico policy his first day in office. Missouri and Texas sued, and the judge has said, okay, they did not go through the proper administrative hearings. The Biden administration did not, so he's ordered them to reinstitute it. So they're doing it on the outside reluctantly, trying to play to their left-wing base, but in reality, I think they realize we have a real issue here. This is a crisis, and this actually worked.
Today, the Department of Homeland Security announced the U.S. reached a deal with Mexico to start holding migrants yet again. DHS is vowing humanitarian changes to the program, including COVID vaccines for asylum seekers.
It's not like they're just going back to square one because they're forced to by a court. That's kind of how they're trying, I think, to blame it to the left,
right,
who doesn't like the policy, and to try to justify. He called it inhumane and unjustifiable human cost. I mean, the list goes on and on. Dangerous was used by President Biden. But they've actually updated it to make it even more stringent.
We want to end this program, but we also believe in following the law, and that's exactly what we're doing.
The rule, formerly known as the Migrant Protection Protocol, requires migrants seeking asylum to remain in Mexico during the legal process, allowing only limited entry for court proceedings. The program is set to restart Monday at one border city, and it's expected to eventually include 7 border crossings from coast to coast along the Mexican border.
They opposed, of course, the return to Mexico policy simply and totally because President Trump was in favor of it. No other reason.
I will say this, an awful lot of harm was done in the meantime while this program was on the sidelines, and it's a good thing that this court order has sort of given them the exit ramp. But look, I'll just tell it like it is. This was just a convenient way for them to say, oh, that was working, and it's time to put it back in place.